notebooks, everyone. Neil, you have written the third rule. Show it to me. Rudra. Yes, close the notebook, everyone. So, we have studied 2 worksheets by now. In that worksheet, green t-shirt, what is your name? Priyanshu. What is the first effect we should give? Or receiver or goes out? Comes in. First question you'll ask to yourself, who is the receiver? If you get the answer, well and good, otherwise you'll ask, what comes in? Is everyone clear with that? Sit down. And what is your name? Stuti. Second effect? Good absent yesterday? Okay, sit down. Ayushi? Giver and goes out. First question you'll ask to yourself, who is the giver? If you don't get the answer, what goes out? Simultaneously, keep the rules of cash and credit transactions also in mind. Means if it is a cash transaction, then even if someone is the receiver, you cannot write his name in goods and assets transaction, because we have already received the money or paid the money, so person's name need not be remembered. So all the concepts of accounting are to be applied simultaneously. So ask yourself, who is the receiver? But if it's a cash transaction, even if you get the answer, don't write that person is the receiver, because that person has already paid the money, so his name need not be remembered. Okay, take out your notebooks. Now we take up the third aspect of the same. So in your notebooks, first you shall write this. Why are you late?
Sir, I have slept from Activa.
You?
Slept from Activa.
Slept from Activa. Fell from Activa. What are you chewing or eating? Swallow that. Come and see that this doesn't get disturbed, okay? Thank you for disturbing me. Yes, worksheet 4. In the notebook, first write this new aspect. Now what we will have today. Yes? You haven't got the pamphlet. That you'll have to take from the office. Go and collect it from the office. Then where will you write in the notebook today? Okay, effect 1 will include, first effect we have seen so far, receiver, or we have seen comes in, or write down expense. The new one is expense. The new effect what we study is expense. This is the last one. After this nothing else will take place. And effect 2, against receiver we have giver, against comes in, goes out, and against expense, income. Means now onwards you'll ask 3 questions to yourselves. First, who is the receiver? Second, if you don't get the answer, what comes in? Third, if you don't get any answer, then which expense is incurred? Okay, third question you'll ask to yourself is which is the expense incurred? And second effect also you'll ask three questions. First, who is the giver if you don't get the answer? What goes out if you don't get the answer? Which income is earned? Is everyone clear with this? So, again I'll explain you a few transactions, then I'll start asking you. So, look at transaction 35. Did you all take it out? Worksheet 4 transaction 35, shall I discuss? Paid for consultancy fees rupees 200. Now if you ask yourself who is the receiver, no name is given, you don't get any answer. If you ask what comes in, nothing comes in. But which expense paid for consultancy? So consultancy is an expense. So effect 1, consultancy is an expense, affects consultancy account. Able to understand this? I repeat it. Who is the receiver? No one, because no name is there. What comes in? Nothing comes in. Which expense is incurred? Consultancy. So consultancy is an expense, affects consultancy account. Any confusions? Who is the giver? No one. What goes out? Cash. We are paying for fees. We are paying for some consultancy fees, means cash goes out. So effect 2, cash goes out. Underline expense and underline goes out. Affects cash account. Did all of you understand this? No need to check the third thing. Now once you get the effect, then no need to check the third aspect. Okay, there is no income in this transaction. Any confusions in that? Once again I repeat the second effect. Who is the giver? We don't get any answer, no name is there. What goes out? We are paying the consultancy, means cash goes out, affects cash account. Anyone who wants me to repeat the third effect again? Yes, effect 1, who is the receiver? Do you find any name? So no one is the receiver. What comes in? Nothing comes in. Why cash comes in? Nothing comes in. We are paying for it, so nothing comes in. Third question, which expenses incurred? We are paying for consultancy, so consultancy is an expense. So that effect we get, consultancy is an expense, affects consultancy account. Effect 2, who is the giver? No name is given, so no one is the giver. What goes out? We are paying the fees, means we are paying it in cash. So what goes out? Cash goes out. Effect 2, cash goes out, affects cash account. Anyone else who wants me to repeat it again? All are clear with this? Kanisha? Next. Received brokerage of rupees 200. Who is the receiver? No one. For the receiver, what should be given? Name should be given. No one is the receiver. What comes in? Cash. Now we are receiving brokerage, so cash comes in. Write down. Effect 1. Cash comes in. Affects cash account. Now no need to go to the third question. Effect 2. See, until 50 transactions, all of you do this practice rigorously in your mind. Ask all the questions in your mind. After 50 transactions, you'll be directly able to identify effects. But don't hurry up initially. Initially, ask every question to yourself so that effects completely become clear. Now, effect, first question, who is the giver? No name is given, no one is the giver. What goes out? Cash. No, cash comes in and goes out. Cash cannot come in and go out both. So, nothing goes out. Which income is earned? Brokerage. Received brokerage means brokerage is an income. Here we get the third answer. So, brokerage is an income, affects brokerage account. Able to understand this, everyone? Once again, effect to first question. Who is the giver? No one. No name is given. What goes out? Nothing goes out. Which income is earned? Brokerage. So brokerage is an income affects brokerage account. Able to understand this? Next, 37. Purchased stationery rupees 500. Now listen carefully, everyone. In business, whenever we purchase stationery, we always consider it as an expense. We never say stationery comes in. Reason, we assume that whatever stationery is purchased will be used. If anything remains unused, we do its adjustment later on, which we'll study at the higher level. Same year 11 standard, but little bit further chapters we'll study that. So if I assume that I've purchased this marker, I don't consider this marker as an asset, something coming in the business. Assets only come in the business or goods. I consider it as an expense, means I assume that I'm purchasing it and then using it. So this marker which is used, has it become my expense or not? Yes. What is remaining inside is my asset. But I assume this will be used by the end of the day. So whenever you purchase any stationery, you purchase pen, notebooks, anything, you assume that the moment you purchase it, you start using it. So it is not going to be your asset, it is going to be your expense. Means if you purchase stationery, then don't write stationery comes in. Write stationery is an expense. Understood that? So here, effect 1. Who is the receiver?
No one.
What comes in? Nothing. Will not say stationery comes in. You will say stationery is an expense. What is the expense? Stationery. So effect 1. Stationery is an expense. Affects stationery account. Understood this, everyone? Effect 2. Who is the giver? No one. What goes out?
Cash.
We have purchased stationery, means we have to pay money for that. So effect 2. Cash goes out. Affects cash account. Did all of you understand this? Anyone having any doubt in it? Raise your hand who wants me to explain any of the 3 transactions up till here again. Of 37? Effect 1. Who is the receiver? No one is the receiver. Now effect 2. What comes in at first instance? You may feel that stationery comes in. But we will never write that effect in accountancy, as I said to you right now. Whenever we purchase stationery, we assume that we are purchasing and using it. So stationery does not come in and remain in the business, it gets used up. Therefore we say stationery is an expense. Okay, so something comes in, stationery does come in, but don't write that. Because we assume that we purchase it and immediately use it. So we will say the third one, stationery is an expense. And second effect, cash goes out, affects cash. Anyone else who is not clear with any portion? Okay, next 38. Goods of rupees 100 were received as free samples, which were distributed as free samples to us. 3 things we discussed. Our own goods given as free samples, economic. Goods received as free samples, and same goods received as free samples given as free samples, non-economic. Here it is clearly given. Goods of 100 were received as free samples, means it is not our goods, which were distributed as free samples. Our money, is it involved? No, it is non-economic transaction. It is simply non-economic transaction. Able to understand this? Only one transaction is economic in that. Which one? Our own goods given as free samples. Only one is economic in that. Okay, next. Raise your hand. Paid salary rupees 4,000. Very good, so many. अग्रवाल, ईशा अग्रवाल, खुशी अग्रवाल, हाँ.
Salaries and expense affect salary account, and cash goes out affects cash account.
Very good. Sit down. Who is the receiver? No one is. Please don't hurry up. Every question you will try to analyze. What comes in? Nothing comes in. First 50 transactions will analyze everything. After that directly. What is an expense? Salary. So effect 1. Salary is an expense. Affects salary account. Understood this? What will you underline? Expense. Who is the giver? No one. What goes out? Paid salary. So cash goes out. Cash goes out. Affects cash account. Any confusion in this? All are clear with that? Then 40. Raise your hand. Received commission of rupees 500. The
Cash comes in affect cash account and the commission is an income effect commission.
correct. So now, first, who is the receiver? No name is given. No one is the receiver. What comes in? Cash. Received commission means don't write commission comes in. Commission will not walk and come in the business. Commission is our income. When we receive commission means we receive money for that commission. So cash comes in. I've seen such effects in the test papers when I take it every year. Receive commission, commission comes in. And then commission is also an income. So we receive commission in the form of money. Means what comes in? Cash comes in. Got it everyone? Cash comes in. Affects cash account. Effect 2. Who is the giver? No one. No name is given. What goes out? Nothing goes out. What is an income? Commission. So commission is an income. Affects commission account. So all of you are able to understand all these aspects? 41st. Raise your hand. Receive a change of 1,000 in exchange of, now 1,000 is banned. Make it 2,000. Received a change after demonetization, 1,000 will be illegal. It is an illegal transaction now. Received change of rupees 2,000 in exchange of rupees 2,000 currency note. Prince. Non-economic. Anyone else? Group up? Non-economic. Anyone else? What is your name? Janvi. Janvi. Okay. Non-economic. Anything else? That's what I'm asking. Prachi?
Cash comes in and cash goes out.
Cash comes in and cash goes out. It is a non-economic transaction. Reason same. Cash comes in and cash goes out. So no, is any money really involved? Any cost on your part really involved? No. You are giving 2,000 rupees notes and maybe you are taking 500 for currency notes. So here no money is actually involved. It's just exchange of money for money. Is everyone clear with that? That is a non-economic transaction. Try 42, 43, 44 on your own. 3 transactions. 42, 43, 44, try it on your own. That cash transaction. You give 2,000 rupees note and in exchange suppose you take 500 rupees 4 notes. Value is 2000 only. You cannot say 500 notes comes in and 2000 note goes out. Finally it is cash only. Value of both of them is 2000 only. So cash remains unaffected. Neither the cash increases nor the cash decreases. So it's a non-economic transaction. Okay, meaning of railway freight. When you transport your goods by railway, then they charge the amount for transporting the goods, which is called railway freight. Okay, if you transport by truck freight. If you transport by aeroplane, then air freight. So whichever medium you transport, the transportation charges are called as freight. Do your work without talking. On your own, everyone must be trying. Who all are still trying it? This Saturday the test of stats chapter 2 classification. Lot of practice is done, 2-3 times test is taken. See that practice test was also taken. You prepare it thoroughly well now. Important points will come in that test. Okay. Yes, now check your effects. 42nd. 8 for railway freight 100. Effect 1. Railway freight is an expense affects railway freight account. Effect 2. Cash goes out affects cash account. Then paid for electricity bill. Electricity bill is an expense affects electricity bill account. Cash goes out affects cash account. Received interest 1200. Cash comes in affects cash account. Interest is an income affects interest account. Who all got it wrong? Any one of them? Yes, any one of them who got it? Any of them? I am basically interested in knowing the wrong points. Yes, Sheetal?
Sir, instead of electricity bill, I wrote electricity account.
That's right. That's correct. It is correct. It is not wrong. Anyone else? Only bill account will not do. There are many types of bills. So electricity word should be mentioned. Yes, Prince?
सर एक्सपेंस लिखेंगे तो नहीं चलेगा इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल की जगह
Means only expense account.
Expense.
No. There are many types of expenses. Which expense we need to mention? So either you write electricity expense account or simply electricity account. Electricity word should come. Who else got it wrong? Any of the things? Please let me know the mistakes. No one else? Okay. Now look at 45th. Be attentive. Purchased stationery from Dinesh Stationery Mart, rupees 300. Who is the receiver? We are purchasing from Dinesh. He is the giver, not the receiver. So who is the receiver? No one is the receiver. Okay. Further, what comes in? Middle level says stationery comes in. What is an expense? Stationery is an expense. Write down effect 1. Stationery salons is an expense. Affects stationery account. Now, who is the giver? No, we will not write that. I told you all the rules of accounting are to be applied simultaneously. First of all, tell me, is it a cash transaction or a credit? Yes. Third rule, expenses and incomes, right, Neil? Third rule, expenses and incomes are always cash transaction. In cash transaction, do you need to remember the name of the person? No. We have already paid the money to Dinesh for stationery. Purchased stationery means we have already paid the money. Name of Dinesh need not be remembered. We'll simply write cash goes out. So name of person will come only in credit transactions. It is an expense here. Expense is always a cash transaction. So name of Dinesh will not come. Understood this? Let us effect 2. Cash goes out. Silence affects cash account. Okay, remember this. In cash transactions or rather in expense and income transactions, name of person will never be recorded because the money is already paid or the money is already received. Understood this? Next, raise your hand. Paid salary to Munim, rupees 5,000. Put it. Munim is the receiver. Just now what did I say? In expense and income transactions, name of person will not be recorded. Now, who is the receiver? Munim is the receiver, but we will not write it. Second question, let him answer now. What comes in? Nothing comes in. Don't say salary comes in. What is an expense? Salary is an expense. And effect 2?
Cash goes
You are very intelligent. And second effect? Second effect? Cash goes out effects? Cash comes out. So keep it in mind, we cannot write Munim as the receiver because it is a cash transaction. We don't have to remember to whom we have paid the money. So write down 46. Effect 1. Salary is an expense. Affects salary account. And effect 2. Cash goes out. Affects cash account. Is every one of you clear with this? So whenever there is any expense or income, we should not write name of the person. Once again, whenever there is any expense or income, we should not write the name of the person. Got it, everyone? Next. Try 47, 48, 49, 21. Completed everyone? Who all are still doing it? Lot of noises coming. Who all are still doing it? Raise your hand. Check your answers. Shop rent is an expense, affects shop rent account. Cash goes out, affects cash account. Raise your hand who has written Dhruvin is the receiver. As I said, whenever there is any expense or income, we will not write the name of the person. Did you understand it? Abhinav. Your name is Abhinav, right? Next, cash goes out, affects cash account. Then fire insurance premium is an expense, affects fire insurance premium account. Cash goes out, affects cash account. Sales tax is an expense, affects sales tax account. Cash goes out, affects cash account. Who want to get all the three right? All are clear with this? Now worksheet 5, including bank transactions. In your notebook, first write down worksheet 5. Bank transactions effects. Listen carefully and understand all the points, everyone. Bank transactions effects. The transactions of bank can take place through, in your examples, you'll have 3 different mediums. One is check, understand it first. Second is NEFT and RTGS. You'll have this in the coming chapters and I want to explain to you right now itself. NEFT stands for National Electronic Funds Transfer. And RTGS stands for Real Time Gross Settlement. What happens is in NEFT, the transactions and the money transfer takes place directly from bank to bank. I have to add the beneficiary. Suppose I want to transfer 50,000 rupees in the account of Gaurav. Stand up. Why are you yawning in the class? Keep standing and feel active. Suppose I want to transfer 50,000 rupees in the account of Gaurav. I'll add Gaurav as beneficiary first of all in my account. Okay. Now, I can transfer it through NEFT or RTGS. Minimum limit for RTGS is, by the way, 2 lakhs. And maximum limit for NEFT is 2 lakhs. So generally up to 2 lakhs of amount you do NEFT, and after that you do RTGS. In NEFT, the banks do the transfer in a gap or interval of 1 hour each. Means, suppose I transfer 50,000 at 10:15 in the morning. Now bank will do in the interval of 1 hour each. Means the money will not go to his account at 10:15. Suppose bank does the next transfer at 11 o'clock. Then in the country, whosoever is transferring the money between 10 to 11, everyone's transfer to another account will take place at 11 o'clock. Therefore, national, in the whole country, national electronic funds transfer. If 11 and 1, I transfer the money, and bank has already done all the transfers at 11 o'clock, then my money will now directly go to other account at 12 o'clock. That interval of time differs from bank to bank. So in which bank you have an account, and at what time that bank has decided the interval, that depends and differs from bank to bank. Real time gross settlement means instantly, same time. If I transfer the money at 10:15 to his account, in his account it will be reflected at 10:15. Therefore it is called real time, actual time gross settlement. Understood this? So this is directly transfer taken from one bank account to another bank. You will have this in the coming chapter 3 onwards, but we have already understood it right now. You will have right now in chapter 2 only the word check. Now if you receive check from someone, what will you do with that check? Deposit it in the bank. You will not receive the check only for show purpose and keep it in your drawer only. Okay, you will try to deposit in the bank as early as possible so that you get the money of that in your bank account immediately. So whenever check is received, as we discussed, we are going to deposit it in the bank. So we will say bank is the receiver. Whenever we receive the check, what effect we will write is bank is the receiver. Understood that? What do we mean when we say bank is the receiver? Actually, bank is not the receiver. Our account in the bank is the receiver. If you have an account with HDFC Bank, HDFC Bank is not receiving the money. The money is getting deposited into your account in HDFC Bank. So whenever we say bank is the receiver, we mean to say our account in the bank is the receiver. But we will not write so lengthy. Our account in the bank is the receiver. We are not going to write an essay on that. So we will simply write bank is the receiver. But what we mean by that? Our account in the bank is the receiver. And whenever we give or issue or draw, all the words mean one and the same. Or pay. Whenever we give check to someone, or issue check to someone, or draw check to someone, or pay check to someone, the money will be directly paid from our bank account. The money will be directly paid from our bank account. So we will write the effect bank is the giver. And again, what do we mean when we say bank is the giver? Our account in the bank is the giver. HDFC is not going to pay the money from its own pocket. They'll pay the money from our pocket, which is lying in the bank, which is our bank account. Is everyone of you clear with this? So whenever we say bank is the receiver, we actually mean to say our account in the bank is the receiver. Whenever we say bank is the giver, we actually mean to say our account in the bank is the giver. Understood this? Write it down. Yes, Gaurav? Fine now? No more yawning in the class. Sit down. Who all are still writing it? Anyone who wants me to explain anything again? Yes, Janvi? Sorry? The bank?
The bank should be same and
No, not necessary. He may be having account in ICICI Bank, I may be having in HDFC. I need to add as a beneficiary and then transfer will take place from HDFC to ICICI. If it is same bank, then no need of NEFT, direct interbank transfer can be done. NEFT is not needed only. If your account and mine account both is in HDFC, then I can transfer the money into your account in just 1 or 2 minutes time. There is no need of any NEFT beneficiary in that. Okay. Yes, any other doubts or confusions get clarified? So what is NEFT? National Electronic Funds Transfer. Here the transfer takes place at a specified interval of time, which may be 1 hour, 2 hour, 1.5 hour, differs from bank to bank. And generally the time of operating is morning 9 o'clock to evening 6 o'clock. After that they don't do NEFT transfers. And RTGS is real time gross settlement. Immediately the transfer takes place. Okay. Charges are also there for such transfers. They start from 5 rupees minimum. If you transfer the money to anyone's account, whatever amount minimum is, 5, then as the amount increases, charges also increases. Okay. Who are still writing it? So whenever check is received, what effect we will write? Bank is the receiver. And we actually mean our account in the bank is the receiver. Whenever check is given to someone, bank is the giver. Then we actually mean our account in the bank is the giver. Transaction 50. Open a bank account with rupees 10,000 with ICICI Bank. Now listen carefully. Effect 1. First question. Who is the receiver? Bank is the receiver. We are depositing the money with ICICI Bank, means our account in the bank is the receiver. So write down bank is the receiver, affects bank account. Effect 2. Who is the giver? Who is the giver? No one is the giver. What goes out? Cash. Cash we are depositing in the bank. So cash goes out, affects cash account. Is everyone of you clear with this? Anyone having any doubt in this, raise your hand. Anyone who wants me to explain this again? Next. Decided to increase the monthly salary of manager to be non-economic and then were decided. A crossed check of 2000 was received from Abhishek. First, who is the receiver? No. Check is received from Abhishek. Abhishek is the giver. What will we do with the check received? Deposit in the bank. Bank is this. I told you whenever check is received, effect will be bank is the receiver. Understood that? So, check is received means bank is the receiver, affects bank account. Effect to who is the giver? Abhishek is the giver. Here we will write Abhishek is the giver. Affects Abhishek's account. Okay, Abhishek sir's account. Is everyone clear with this? Yes, Abhishek. Yes. In cash transaction, if it is transaction of goods and assets, then only name will not come. This is the third rule. Expense, income and settlement. Whenever this is settlement in past, we would have sold goods on credit to Abhishek. So now he is going to pay us the money. So now we'll write Abhishek is the giver and we are receiving the money from him. So whenever there is a settlement transaction, there will be an effect on cash or bank as well as the person. Okay, person's name will not come if it is goods and assets transaction and it is a cash transaction. This is not goods and assets transaction, it is a settlement transaction. Yes? Effect? 1. We have received the check from Abhishek. What will we do with the check received? We'll deposit it in the bank. So bank is the receiver. Therefore I made it right here. Whenever check is received, you'll write bank as the receiver because we'll deposit that in our bank account. And whenever we give check to someone, you'll write bank as the receiver. Any other doubts? All are clear with this? Yes, someone is saying crossed word in between. There are checks means there are two alternatives possible when you give a check to someone. Here when you write pay to someone, right? Here date is there. Here amount is there. And here again you write the amount in rupees. Here you do your signature. At the top, if you do these two lines, it is called cross check, which means account pay check. Means the money will go only into your bank account. And if you don't do this, then it is called bearer check. Bearer means anyone can go to the bank and get money cash against that. Then what is written on the check, bank person will not see only. Means on the check, suppose it's written pay to Fena, F-E-N-A, Fena. Fenil takes that check and goes into the bank. Bank will not ask, you don't look like Fena. Bank will give the money. Therefore it is called bearer check. Whosoever bears the check will get the money. So even if on the check Anuj is written, Prachi can go and get the money. They will not ask, you don't look like Anuj. That is bearer check. What is that bearer? If you don't do this two lines, okay, then you can get cash. So if bearer check comes in the transaction, we'll treat it as good as cash. If bearer check is received, we'll not say bank is the receiver. Then we'll say cash comes in. Because we'll go and collect cash from the bank. Dishonor. Without the sign, the check cannot be presented only. Yes, next. Any other confusions? Okay, 52nd. 53rd, sorry. A check of rupees 3,500 is received from Lara. Raise your hand. First effect. Prachi?
Bank is the receiver and second effect, Lara is the giver.
Correct. When check is received, what effect we will write? Bank is the receiver because we will deposit the check in the bank. So bank is the receiver affects bank account. And first question, who is the giver? We have received from Lara. So Lara is the giver, affects Lara's account. Is every one of you clear with this? Now, received dividend on shares of Reliance rupees 500. Understand the meaning of dividend first. Normally, investment, you all understand what is investment?
Yes.
You can do the investment either in shares or in debentures, bonds, etc. When you invest the money in the shares of a company, then you become the owner of that company. Shareholders are supposed to be the owners of that company to that extent. Whatever value of shares you have, you are the owner of that company. Should the owner get the profits in the company or not?
Yes.
So whatever profit the company earns, it distributes amongst all the shareholders, which is called dividend. What is this dividend? The profit of the company distributed between the shareholders. For us, it is an income. We invested the money in shares. So if the return on shares we get in the form of dividend. So for us, that dividend is an income. When you invest the money in debentures or bonds, then you are not the owner of the company, you are creditor of the company. Debenture or bond is like you are giving loan to the company. Shares means you are giving capital to the company. You are the owner. And debentures or bonds means you are giving like loan to the company. In return of that, you will get interest. So interest is also our income. But when do we earn that interest income? When we invest the money in debentures or bonds. Dividend is also our income. But when do we earn that dividend income? When we invest the money in shares. You able to understand this? Show this in your notebook first. Then I'll dictate the meaning of dividend. Okay, so if you invest the money in shares, you get the return in the form of dividend. If you invest the money in debentures or bonds, you get return in the form of dividends. Able to understand this?
Yeah.
Now below that, write down the meaning of dividend. The profits of the company, distributed amongst the shareholders is called dividend. Full stop. It is an income. Now one more thing, listen here. A company will be having how many shareholders? How many? Thousands and lakhs of shareholders. So it never gives the dividend in cash. Company is not going to do money order to thousands and lakhs of people. These days, the dividend directly goes into your bank account. Because whenever you purchase shares, etc., you open a demat account. DEMAT, dematerialization demat account. And in that account, whichever bank account is registered, in your bank account directly dividend will be credited. These days. Otherwise, earlier companies used to send a check at your house address for the dividend. But it is never received in cash. So whenever dividend is received, it will directly go into our bank account. We will say bank is the receiver. Dividend can never be received in cash. It is always received in the form of check earlier, and now the money directly goes into our bank account. So here when they say received dividend on shares of Reliance, means bank is the receiver, affects bank account. And effect 2, dividend is an income, affects dividend account. Is everyone of you clear with this? So dividend can never be received in the form of cash. Earlier it used to be received in the form of check, and these days the money directly goes into our bank account. They will never mention the word check, but dividend comes, means it is received by check or directly in our bank account. The word check will never be mentioned. So you will always say bank is the receiver, affects bank account, and dividend is an income, affects dividend account. Any confusion in that? Remaining will continue with the practice tomorrow. Homework. Note it down. Page 14. Question 1 and 2. Assignment. Can you see that? Yes. Page 14, assignment examples. What is question 1? Identify whether the following are cash or credit transactions and their two effects. Same two effects what we are doing. You do it in the notebook. Effect 1, effect 2. Same way, question 2 also explain the reasons whether the following are cash or credit transaction and their two effects. Means you have to do two things. First, you have to write it is a cash transaction because the word cash is given, as we used to do that. And after that, write this also. Effect 1, effect 2. Understood the homework? So that you have to do it in the homework and submit it outside. Bye everyone.